Hi. As an English teacher, I always get asked, ma'am, help me with pronunciations. That is the area that I want to focus on. To be very honest, to teach pronunciations is not that easy because it's like having to teach the entire dictionary for vocabulary. It's not possible. But instead, what I do generally on a typical English course is I teach them the most confusing and similar words, introduce them to that. And number two, give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man how to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. So yes, I teach the techniques and strategies to learn pronunciation by yourself. But why I do the step one, introduce them to confusing words and similar sounding words or similar spelled words, is when you start mastering those words which you initially think are very difficult or you have been mispronouncing for a long time, it gives the learners a lot of confidence to master the rest of the words or to learn the rest of the words. I would detest or keep away from the word called master, because nobody really can master a language which is not your mother tongue or your native language. So he or she, the learner, can feel the motivation to learn more such words if he's introduced to confusing words and similar sounding words on a regular basis and help them pronounce it right. Today I'm going to be talking about two such words, and both of them are again not native English words. Both of them are borrowed. There's also an argument that English doesn't really have many original words. Most of them are borrowed from either the Indo-Germanic languages, which is nothing but Sanskrit, German, and the other West European languages like the French. The first word we're going to see today is this. It's the wallet. Most people have a problem, most Indians have a problem pronouncing this consonant. It's the W, which is pronounced as W. This is something I learned when I read about Helen Keller when I was in probably undergraduation, and we had a chapter on Helen Keller and how she learned the word water from her master. So if you haven't read about Helen Keller, there's also this a Hindi movie called Black, which is nothing but Helen Keller's life. So even that movie has a small scene which talks about this pronunciation. So Helen Keller, for many of those who don't know who she is, she cannot see and she cannot hear. So how did her teacher teach her? So she had asked Helen Keller to ensure that her lips touch her palm when she says the word w. W, w, w. Your lips. So that's w. That's the pronunciation of w. This is also something that kids are being taught when I teach them phonics. It's very easy to teach kids all these pronunciations because once you teach them all these techniques, they catch it immediately. So this is something that is introduced now in the education system. It's like every other school has a mandatory phonics class. But for all the rest of us, like me, who didn't have a proper phonics during the early childhood, have to pick it up at some point of time. And this is how it is pronounced. So this is pronounced as W and not as V. V is for van, whereas W is for watch, W is for wallet. So wallet, the T is pronounced. It's wallet. As we all know, this word is nothing but the folded piece of purse that men carry in their pockets. It's interesting to note that this came from the Indo-German languages. Indo-German is nothing but a combination of Sanskrit and German. So this is derived from the archaic or the really old version of Indo-German. Wallet was actually used as a term to refer to the bags that people used to carry when they were traveling for pilgrims, and they stored all the provisions like lunch and food and everything. So it was something that eventually, from carrying food for survival, it became to something to refer to as something that you hide, because you don't want to reveal what you have in your bag when you're traveling really long distances. Like there were a lot of pilgrims who traveled across several countries, so they used to hide their provisions and their meat and their food from invaders, from a lot of people who loot stuff on their way. So from pirates and everybody. So that was essentially how the meaning of secrecy and keeping it to yourself came. And then it evolved to something like a bag, which helps you carry all your angles and everything when you go fishing. So that's how the word evolved and had different versions of it. And now it refers to the purse, the man purse, the purse that a man carries, which is pocket sized, and he can keep it in his pocket to keep all his money and cards and everything else. So that is wallet, wallet, wallet. Yes, and next is this. Yes, it's clearly a French word. It's not exactly a French word, because French has the same word in a different form, but it's derived from Old French. The modern French has a different version of the same word, which I'm not very sure. I think it has an S here, and I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but in English it's valet, valet or valet, valet. Valet is a proper pronunciation, is also an accepted and a proper right pronunciation. You can say valet, although some people and some nations do say as valet. Like most Indians, I think we say valet parking. Yes, it's used along with the word parking. Valet is referred to a person who parks your car or cleans your car when you're probably entering a hotel or a wedding or something like that. So essentially this word in Old French meant a person in the royal court who took care of the king's clothing and his personal belongings. So whenever he had to walk, there was a person behind him carrying his huge cloak and his other things like the staff or his crown if he's removing it, or his jewels or anything like that. So there was a person, it's more like this personal assistant who walks along with him, especially for his clothes and personal belongings. And then it evolved to a person who takes care of the car, especially in the parking area. This is more of an American word. It's the Americans who chose to use this word valet or valet. So, and when you say this word again, let's focus on the first consonant. It's va. It's valet. You just this and say valet. So it's valet and not wallet. It's not war. It's va. Although both of them have an A, the way we say it is different. It's va for this and wa for this. So that's how these words are pronounced. They sound very similar. They both are derived from different languages, and these are all words that we use very commonly in our day-to-day life. And I do see a lot of learners have difficulties pronounce this word. I hope you like this video, and keep encouraging me and give me issues, give me topics that you want me to talk about, you want me to discuss. And please do comment and leave a comment, say what do you think you would like to hear me talking about. And yeah, that's my daughter, and yeah, hope to see you. And I do plan to come up with more such videos on similar sounding words. Thank you. Keep giving me some love and encouragement.